Did you know that honey can last forever? Honey is one of the few natural products that practically never spoils and can remain edible for thousands of years. Archaeologists discovered pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs, over 3,000 years old, and the honey was still edible. The secret to this longevity lies in honey's unique chemical composition. It contains very little water and has high acidity, which creates an environment where bacteria and mold can't thrive. This natural preservative ensures honey's everlasting freshness, making it a wonder of nature that can remain delicious and usable for centuries. What if I told you that there's a desert in Chile where it snows? The Atacama Desert is one of the driest places on Earth, but sometimes it snows. This rare natural phenomenon happens due to sudden climate changes and brings precipitation to regions that have not seen rain for years. Snow falling on the red sands of the desert creates an incredible contrast, making this place even more mysterious and astonishing. Tourists from around the world come to witness this unique natural wonder. Believe it or not, a tiger's roar can freeze its prey. Tigers don't just roar to be scary, they weaponize sound. Their roars include infrasound frequencies below the range of human hearing, which can travel over 3 kilometers and physically affect the animals that hear them. These vibrations resonate inside the prey's body, inducing a stunned, frozen reaction that some scientists describe as a kind of temporary paralysis. Unlike normal fear, this physiological response slows motor functions and clouds judgment, just long enough for the tiger to close in for the kill. Researchers believe the sound may interfere with brainwave patterns or trigger a panic reflex that immobilizes the animal. Nature has effectively given tigers a long-distance stun gun. It's an evolutionary superpower that dramatically increases their hunting success. Did you know that we lose a total of 9 years of life on smartphone screens? Imagine this. According to research, the average person spends about 3 hours a day on their smartphone. Now multiply that over an entire lifetime. Let's say 72 years. It turns out that a whole 9 years of your life is spent staring at your phone screen. Can you imagine how much you could accomplish in that time? Traveling to new countries, learning multiple languages, or writing a book? There are endless possibilities. Next time you pick up your phone, remember you have 9 years you could live differently. Did you know the average person spends 6 months of their life at traffic lights? The average person spends around 6 months of their life waiting for red lights to turn green. This adds up from all the small stops we make at intersections and crosswalks every day. While it may seem like only a few seconds here and there, over a lifetime, it becomes a significant chunk of time. These moments of waiting remind us of the hidden rhythms of everyday life and how much time we spend on seemingly small things. Have you ever wondered what states are? In the USA, states are not just administrative units, like provinces in other countries. Each state has its own unique culture, nature, traditions, and laws. They are not merely geographical divisions. States have their own rights, including the ability to enact laws that apply only within their boundaries. There are a total of 50 states, each with its own identity and distinctive features. For example, California is famous for its technological advancements, while Texas is known for its passion for independence and unique culture. The last state to join the USA was Hawaii in 1959, when it officially became part of America. Imagine for a moment that Alaska was once part of Russia. Today, Alaska, one of the harshest and most remote states in the US, was formerly a part of the Russian Empire. It was sold to the United States in 1867 for a record-breaking $7.2 million. Alaska is not only one of the northernmost states, but also has the longest coastline in the U.S., stretching over 10,000 kilometers. The region has a challenging climate that makes it unique and markedly different from the rest of the country, while remaining an important strategic and natural resource. Imagine a hybrid of a cow and a bison. It's a beefalo. Yes, there exists a unique hybrid of a cow and a bison called a beefalo. These animals combine the traits of both cows and bison, and they are known for their impressive hardiness. Beefalos can be found in certain regions of the United States, where they have become agricultural stars. They are bred as a more resilient alternative to traditional livestock, being better suited to harsh conditions. Imagine, you're on a stroll and come across this amazing creature that looks like a mix of the majesty of a wild bison and the domesticity of a cow. A true wonder of nature, brought to life by genetic experimentation. Did you know sloths can hold their breath for ages? You might think of sloths as the slowpokes of the animal kingdom, but they have some pretty amazing skills too. One of their coolest tricks is the ability to hold their breath for up to 40 minutes. That's right, these laid-back creatures can dive underwater when they need to, which comes in handy for a couple of reasons. First, it helps them stay safe from predators, as they can slip into the water and disappear. But it's not just about hiding. This impressive breath-holding ability also lets sloths reach new food sources. They often live high up in trees, and sometimes they need to take a dip in the water below to munch on some tasty leaves or fruits. Sloths are perfectly adapted to their leisurely lifestyle, which includes moving slowly and spending most of their time hanging out in the treetops. So next time you see a sloth, remember they're not just about slow living. They've got some remarkable tricks up their furry sleeves when it comes to survival in the wild. Imagine a cobra warning you with a scent before striking. When a cobra spreads its iconic hood, it's not just for show, it's part of a multi-layered defense system. The dramatic display makes the snake appear larger and more menacing. But some species go even further. They secrete pheromone-rich saliva to signal territory or attract mates. And if that doesn't work, spitting cobras can eject venom up to 1.8 meters away, aiming for the eyes to cause temporary blindness and severe pain. This venom isn't just toxic, it's a precision chemical weapon. The cobra's combination of bluff, chemical warning, and physical defense makes it one of nature's most sophisticated survivalists. No other snake combines these tactics with such chilling elegance. Did you know that the colored squares on toothpaste tubes aren't magic? You've probably noticed the small colored squares at the end of toothpaste tubes. Some people believe that these colored markings indicate the product's composition, whether it's natural or chemical. But the truth is, that's just a myth. These marks, which can be black, blue, red, or green, are known as eye marks and serve purely technical purposes. They help machines on the production line correctly orient the tube for packaging and labeling. These marks contain no information about the toothpaste's ingredients or quality. So next time you see such a mark, you'll know it's just a technical detail, not a sign of some mysterious chemical composition. Discover Colmar's unique blend of cultures and history. This charming town in northeastern France is a treasure trove of cultural heritage, reflecting a fascinating history of German and French influence. Colmar, often considered the capital of Alsace, has changed hands between these two nations several times over the centuries, and this rich past is clearly visible in its stunning architecture. Take a stroll through its cobblestone streets and you'll marvel at the Gothic St. Martin's Church, with its intricate facade and towering spire, a striking reminder of its medieval roots. Just around the corner, the Renaissance-style Maison Pfister stands out with its colorful wooden beams and beautifully decorated facade, showcasing the artistic flair that characterized the Renaissance period. This unique blend of styles tells the story of a town that has embraced its diverse heritage and made it part of its identity. Visitors are not just walking through streets, they're navigating a living history where every building and alley has a story to tell, making Colmar a truly enchanting destination. How about this? Every fifth dollar in U.S. taxes goes to defense? This essentially means that the U.S. spends vast sums on developing its military strength and maintaining global influence. One of the most recognizable symbols of American power, the 100 bill, features Benjamin Franklin, who was never a president but played a crucial role in the nation's history. This approach symbolizes not only the influence of individuals, but also the importance of strategic management at all levels, including defense funding. Can you imagine The Rock as a movie star? Before he became a household name in Hollywood, Dwayne Johnson was rocking the world of professional wrestling. Known as The Rock in WWE, he captivated audiences with his larger-than-life personality and electrifying performances in the ring. His charisma and charm made him a fan favorite, but he didn't stop there. After establishing himself as a wrestling icon, Dwayne decided to try his luck in acting. Surprisingly, he quickly found success on the big screen, showcasing his talent in films like The Scorpion King and Fast and Furious franchises. By 2018, he was not only a superstar, but also the highest-paid actor in the world, raking in an incredible $23 million for his role in the hit movie, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. This meteoric rise from wrestling champ to movie mogul is a testament to his hard work and determination. Dwayne Johnson has proven that with passion and perseverance, you can pivot and thrive in different arenas, inspiring countless fans along the way. Jellyfish, ancient survivors of 5 mass extinctions. Can you believe that jellyfish have existed on our planet for more than 600 million years and have survived 5 mass extinctions? These ancient creatures started their existence long before the dinosaurs and have adapted to the most extreme changes in climate and environment. They have no brains, hearts, or bones, yet they continue to thrive due to their ability to adapt and survive under any conditions. Jellyfish are considered some of the oldest living organisms on Earth, and they continue to amaze scientists with their unique biology. Imagine how incredible nature is, given that these creatures have endured millions of years of evolution. Actually, sea lions create beachside chaos with their voices. On rocky coastal breeding grounds, sea lions don't just gather, they erupt into a roaring sea of sound. These social mammals produce more than 30 distinct vocalizations, ranging from guttural growls to piercing squeals. Each sound has a specific function: defending territory, attracting mates, or calling for pups. During the mating season, dominant males turn beach zones into fortress bars, where they bellow night and day to ward off rivals. Amid this chaos, pups learn the exact vocal fingerprint of their mothers, allowing reunification in dense colonies. Researchers discovered that sea lion calls evolve into regional dialects, much like human accents. Vocal traditions are passed down through generations. These aren't just noises, they're an intricate language that supports social cohesion, identity, and even cultural inheritance. Is it possible that wolves use howling as a GPS? More than haunting music of the wilderness, a wolf's howl is a survival tool of impressive sophistication. Each individual's voice carries unique frequency markers that other pack members instantly recognize, even from 16 kilometers away. But these calls do more than identify. They transmit complex information, warnings, location data, territorial markers, and rendezvous points. Wolves listen not just for the sound, but for its echoes, which tell them about surrounding terrain, obstacles, and safe paths. It's acoustic navigation, woven with social connection. Young wolves are taught to howl with precision, joining the chorus as apprentices of this sonic map. As wolves roam vast forests and mountains, howling serves as their GPS, walkie-talkie, and family thread all at once. Did you know that there's a stone forest on Earth? In China's Yunnan province, you'll find one of the most unique natural phenomena, the Shailan, or stone forest. This astonishing forest isn't made of trees, but of towering limestone pillars that rise towards the sky like jagged spikes of rock. The age of this extraordinary forest is over 270 million years. Erosion from rain and wind has sculpted the rocks into such bizarre shapes. For centuries, people have attributed mystical powers to this place, and local legends claim that spirits of nature inhabit Shailan. It's so majestic and mysterious, it almost looks like a set from a fantasy movie. The deadliest earthquake in history. The deadliest earthquake ever recorded struck Shanxi Province, China, on January 23, 1556. This earthquake had a magnitude of about 8 and claimed the lives of more than 800,000 people, causing massive destruction over a vast area. In the aftermath of this catastrophe, the region's approach to construction changed dramatically, leading to improvements in building practices and earthquake resistance. This tragic event reminds us of how nature can drastically alter the fate of entire populations. One spaghetti noodle is called spaghetto. Spaghetti is one of the world's most popular dishes, but did you know that if you have just one noodle, It's called a spaghetto. This quirky grammar twist adds a touch of loneliness to an otherwise delicious meal. So if you ever find yourself dining alone on a single strand of spaghetti, don't feel bad. You're just following proper Italian grammar rules. Italian grammar makes food not only delicious, but also a little more poetic. Can you imagine that the Beatles couldn't read music? One of the most influential bands in history, the Beatles never learned to read sheet music. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr created their legendary melodies and songs purely by ear, relying on their musical intuition. Despite this, they gave the world hit after hit, forever changing the course of musical history. This fact breaks the stereotype that to create great music, one must be a professional musician who reads music. Their exceptional creative talent and improvisational ability prove that passion and talent matter more than technical skills. How would you react if you found out that Las Vegas is the brightest place on Earth, visible even from space? This city has become the unofficial capital of gambling and casinos. Interestingly, the legalization of casino operations in Nevada was aimed at boosting the state budget, which needed funds for building schools. As a result, Las Vegas has transformed into a true cultural phenomenon, with its bright lights symbolizing not only the city, but also the entire American dream associated with risk-taking and entertainment. Here's something incredible about newborn deer. When fawns make their entrance into the world, they come with a remarkable adaptation. They lack any scent. This unique feature is a clever survival tactic that helps keep them hidden from predators such as wolves and bears. Imagine being a tiny, helpless fawn lying still in the grass, blending in perfectly with your surroundings, while nature plays its game of hide and seek. Most animals rely on their sense of smell to find their food, and without a scent, fawns are like invisible little ninjas in the wild. Their mothers know the importance of this survival strategy, often leaving their young in a safe spot while they venture off to graze. This way, the fawn stays hidden and safe from danger. But it doesn't stop there. As they grow, fawns begin to develop their own scent, which helps them bond with their mothers and eventually learn the ways of the forest. So next time you see a young deer, remember their survival is a combination of cleverness and the wonders of nature. Why do cat whiskers really resemble antennas? Whiskers, technically called vibrissae, are far more than decorative features on a cat's face. These thick, stiff hairs are deeply embedded in nerve-rich follicles, making them ultra-sensitive to touch, airflow, and vibration. Found not only on the muzzle but also above the eyes, on the jaw, and even on the paws, whiskers help cats navigate tight spaces, hunt in darkness, and judge distances before leaping. They detect air currents around objects, giving cats a kind of sixth sense that lets them see with touch. When stalking prey, whiskers track the slightest movements, helping cats pinpoint the exact location of a target. During a jump, they act like gyroscopic sensors, helping with last-second mid-air corrections. In essence, whiskers are natural motion detectors and navigation tools, biological radar systems that turn every cat into a precision-controlled predator. Who would have thought that electricity could be transmitted through the air? Scientists are already developing wireless energy transmission technologies. The basic principle is transmitting power using magnetic fields or lasers. In the future, charging mobile devices or even cars could happen without wires. This will change how we think about electronics and transportation. Tesla dreamed of wireless power back in the early 20th century, and now his ideas are becoming a reality. Did you know that one of the most recognizable symbols of the United States, the Statue of Liberty, was a gift from France? The statue, installed in 1886, was presented as a token of friendship to strengthen the ties between the two countries. Interestingly, its architect was Gustave Eiffel, who later became famous for constructing the Eiffel Tower in Paris. The statue embodies not only freedom and democracy, but also the American dream, as it marked America's emergence as a global symbol for those seeking a better life. Notably, every anniversary of its installation is celebrated in France. Did you know that turtles can breathe through their butts? Yes, you heard that right. Turtles, especially species like the Fitzroy River turtle, can breathe through their cloaca, the opening they use for reproduction and waste excretion. This amazing ability helps turtles absorb oxygen from the water, allowing them to stay underwater for long periods. This process is called cloacal respiration, and it's yet another example of how unique and diverse survival methods are in the animal kingdom. So next time you see a turtle, remember that it's a true master of breathing from both ends. Can you imagine that the world's oldest color is pink? In 2018, scientists discovered the oldest known color on Earth, and it's pink. Extracted from billion-year-old rocks in the Sahara Desert, this pink pigment was created by ancient ocean-dwelling bacteria. These bacteria lived long before animals existed, making pink the oldest biological color. The discovery adds a colorful twist to our understanding of life's early history. Pteronophobia, an unusual fear you might not know about. Did you know that the fear of being tickled by feathers has its own name? It's called pteronophobia, and it's characterized by an irrational fear of being tickled by feathers or even by feathers themselves. While this phobia is rare, it can cause significant stress and anxiety for those who suffer from it. This unusual fear is yet another example of how unique human fears can be and how they can impact daily life. Why do butterflies taste everything with their feet? Butterflies have chemoreceptors on their feet that let them taste surfaces simply by standing on them. When a butterfly lands on a plant, these sensors immediately analyze sugar content, toxins, and suitability for egg laying. Female butterflies rely on this ability to select the perfect leaves where caterpillars will later hatch and feed. Choosing the wrong plant could be deadly for the next generation, so accuracy is crucial. These taste sensors also help butterflies find the richest nectar sources, making their feeding more efficient. This system saves time and energy, allowing butterflies to make split-second decisions without needing to bite or test with their mouths. It's like having a tongue on your toes, functional, efficient, and vital for survival. Nature gave butterflies the ability to taste the world with every graceful step. How many toes do you think cats have on their front paws? Cats' paws are truly unique, not just because they're cute. Most cats have 5 toes on their front paws and only 4 on their back paws. This makes their movement system particularly efficient for hunting and climbing. However, some polydactyl cats have extra toes, making them even more unique. It seems nature decided that a cat's paw shouldn't just be a survival tool, but also a perfect machine for capturing human hearts. Wow! Did you know that spiders can jump incredible distances? A jumping spider can leap up to 15 times its body length. This would be like a human leaping across a football field in one bound. These spiders use their back legs as springs, compressing them and then suddenly straightening to get a powerful push. Jumping spiders also have keen eyesight, allowing them to accurately target prey or safe landing spots, and even avoid predators. The United States is undoubtedly a country of immigrants. Each year, over 1 million people arrive, making it one of the most attractive places to live. In the late 19th century, the largest number of immigrants came from Europe, while today 70% of the immigration flow consists of residents from Asia and Latin America. Mexicans make up the majority of this flow, with over 11 million people, followed by Indians, about 2.7 million, and Chinese, nearly 2.3 million. This cultural diversity in the U.S. is certainly one of the reasons for its success, as the country continues to integrate the traditions and talents of various peoples, creating a unique multicultural society. Bangkok is the most visited city on Earth. In 2019, the vibrant capital of Thailand, Bangkok, welcomed nearly 23 million international tourists, making it the most visited city in the world. This bustling metropolis draws people from all over, with its incredible temples, markets, and rich culture. Bangkok offers endless adventures for everyone, from floating markets to night bazaars, from Buddhist shrines to skyscrapers with stunning panoramas. It's no wonder so many travelers flock to this city, eager to experience its energy and charm. The rarest zebra in the world, spots instead of stripes. In Kenya, an incredible zebra was once spotted with spots instead of the usual stripes. This rare phenomenon occurred due to a genetic mutation that literally transformed our understanding of what zebras look like. This unusual zebra attracted great attention from conservationists and biologists, as such deviations are rare and require special attention to preserve the species. It's not every day you see a zebra with spots instead of stripes. Imagine for a moment that a rhinoceros horn is not bone but hair. Most people assume a rhino's horn is made of bone like antlers or tusks, but it's actually a tightly packed bundle of keratin, the same protein found in our hair and nails. This unique structure gives the horn both incredible strength and remarkable flexibility. Unlike bone, it has no internal blood vessels or marrow. Instead, the keratin fibers grow continuously, regenerating after damage, much like fingernails. The layers fuse into a resilient column that can withstand crushing force and repeated impacts. When fighting, the horn doesn't snap, it bends and rebounds, acting like a biological spring. Scientists have even used horn rings to study rhino age, health, and environmental history. Beyond defense and display, the rhino horn has inspired bioengineers to develop sustainable materials that are tough, renewable, and eco-friendly. Is it possible in Tokyo there is an inverted tower that goes more than 60 floors underground? The Japanese are known for their engineering ingenuity, and the inverted tower project is one of the most ambitious. This tower, unlike traditional skyscrapers, goes deep underground instead of soaring into the sky. Built in the dense urban landscape, it is an innovative solution for creating new office and living spaces in a land-scarce environment. Imagine walking down the street and below you, there's a whole underground city. Can you believe that the electric chair was actually invented by a dentist? Believe it or not, the electric chair, one of the most infamous devices in history, was conceived by Alfred P. Southwick, a dentist. Southwick designed the electric chair in the late 19th century as a more humane alternative to hanging. This shocking invention forever changed the history of capital punishment. It's almost ironic to think that a person dedicated to caring for people's teeth would create such a grim device. Did you know there's a banana you shouldn't eat? In Hawaii, a unique type of banana called the plantain banana grows, which despite its appetizing appearance, is not meant to be eaten. It tastes very bitter, somewhat like a potato. Locals use it for weaving traditional crafts rather than food. Tourists are often surprised by these bananas, but the locals are quick to warn, don't try eating them. Did you know that the first blogs appeared just a quarter of a century ago? It's hard to imagine the internet without blogs today. But did you know the first use of the word blog was recorded only in 1997? The term was a contraction of weblog, literally meaning internet diary. Back then, blogs were simple online journals where people shared their thoughts and experiences. However, as with everything on the internet, blogs evolved. Today, they cover everything from personal notes to global news, professional advice, and guides on any topic. They have become a powerful tool for self-expression, communication, and even business. Can you imagine that what started as a hobby has grown into a way to shape public opinion and the flow of information? How about this? In Italy, there is a village built on lava. In Italy, at the foot of Mount Etna, lies the village of Bronte, known for having some of its homes built directly on ancient lava flows. Volcanic eruptions often created layers of lava so solid that entire structures could be built on top. This unique feature has made Bronte famous worldwide. What's even more astonishing is that the locals are not afraid to live next to an active volcano, believing that the ancient lava protects their homes from new eruptions. Can you imagine a mole seeing with its nose? In the pitch-black tunnels of the underground, vision is useless. But for the star-nosed mole, that's no problem. This small, burrowing mammal has one of the most sensitive tactile organs in the animal kingdom. Surrounding its nostrils is a unique, star-shaped ring of 22 fleshy appendages, each packed with thousands of sensory receptors known as Eimer's organs. These structures allow the mole to process textures, vibrations, and temperature at lightning speed, so fast, in fact, that it can identify and consume prey in under 8 milliseconds. That's faster than human visual recognition. This extraordinary snout effectively replaces sight, acting as a touch-based radar system that maps the world in fine detail. The star-nosed mole doesn't just sniff out its surroundings, it scans them with precision unmatched in the mammalian world. Did you know that lions are true family kings? Despite their image as solitary hunters, lions thrive in structured social units called prides. Complex family groups often containing up to 30 members. These are not random gatherings but tightly knit kinships, with several males protecting a territory as large as 250 km and a network of closely related lionesses handling the bulk of the hunting. The females use intelligent teamwork. Some chase prey into ambushes, while others wait in silence for the perfect moment to strike. Even more fascinating, lionesses synchronize their breeding cycles and raise their cubs communally, often nursing each other's young. Meanwhile, dominant males guard the pride against rival males and predators, sometimes fighting to the death to retain control. This coordinated social structure maximizes hunting success, ensures cub survival, and secures territory, making lions not just kings of strength, but monarchs of cooperation and strategy. It's interesting that footprints on the moon will last for millions of years. Due to the lack of atmosphere on the moon, the footprints left by astronauts may remain for millions of years. There is no wind or water on the moon to erase footprints or even the marks left by spacecraft. This means that the footprints from the Apollo missions, left in the 1960s and 1970s, will remain almost unchanged for millions of years. The moon's surface is like a time capsule of space exploration history. The pistol shrimp, master of the sonic boom. The pistol shrimp, just 2 centimeters long, holds the title of the loudest creature on the planet. It creates a sonic boom louder than a Concorde jet by snapping its claws shut so quickly that it forms a cavitation bubble. This bubble then collapses, creating an incredibly loud sound, strong enough to stun small prey. This unique ability helps the pistol shrimp hunt and defend itself against predators. Who would have thought that such a tiny creature could produce such a powerful noise? How about this? Texas is essentially a separate country within the U.S. Texas is a unique state in the U.S. with a special status. It is the only state that has the right to fly its flag alongside the national flag. Texas was an independent nation for a long time before joining the U.S. in 1845. This status persists today, making Texas distinct among all American states. Texas's de jure status serves as a reminder of its history and traditions of independence. Is it true that Iceland has no railways? Iceland really has no railways, despite technological advancements in other countries. The main reason is the geographical features of the country, which consists of volcanic rocks and mountainous terrain, making railway construction extremely difficult and expensive. Additionally, due to the small population, roads are a more convenient mode of transport. So despite all the progress, you won't find trains there. Blind sight. How can someone see without realizing it? Imagine being blind but still being able to see movements and objects. This phenomenon is known as blind sight. It occurs in people with damage to the visual cortex. Even though they don't see in the conventional sense, they can intuitively detect the location of objects and even guess where they are moving. How is this possible? Other parts of the brain are still able to process visual information. This fascinating phenomenon makes us wonder about how much our brain does in the background without us even being aware of it. Wow! It turns out the bombardier beetle fights with chemistry. Among insects, few are as explosively clever as the bombardier beetle. When threatened, it doesn't flee, it fires. Inside its abdomen, it stores hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide in separate chambers. When danger nears, enzymes mix these two chemicals, triggering an exothermic reaction that releases a jet of boiling, noxious fluid at nearly 100 degrees C. This chemical blast is ejected through a swiveling abdomen that allows the beetle to aim like a tiny flamethrower, defending itself from predators many times its size. The entire reaction completes in less than a second, accompanied by an audible pop that startles attackers. What's even more astonishing is the beetle's internal valve system, which pulses the blast in bursts to prevent self-injury. This is chemistry at its most aggressive. an insect-turned-walking lab reactor capable of outsmarting predators with pure elemental force. It's interesting that Italy has a failed skyscraper. In Milan, there is a skyscraper that locals call the failure. The Pirelli building, constructed in the 1950s, became a symbol of architectural failure, constantly requiring repairs due to design flaws. Despite its modern shape, the building became an object of mockery, but over time, it transformed into one of the city's iconic landmarks thanks to its unusual fate. Polar bears are invisible to infrared cameras. Polar bears are true masters of camouflage. Thanks to their thick layer of fat and dense fur, they are perfectly insulated from the Arctic cold. But what's truly surprising is that these furry giants are almost invisible to infrared cameras. It's as if they have a natural invisibility cloak, making them the ultimate champions in the game of hide and seek. Good luck spotting them with a thermal camera. Why sloths are so slow? A metabolic mystery. Sloths are so slow that even their digestion can take weeks. They can take up to 30 days to digest a single leaf. This slow metabolism helps them survive in environments where food is scarce. Sloths live in the treetops of tropical forests, moving so slowly that algae grow on their fur, camouflaging them into their surroundings. This disguise helps protect them from predators like eagles and jaguars. Thanks to their laziness, they use very little energy, making them true masters of energy conservation in nature. Is it true that you can see kangaroos on the streets in Australia? Absolutely true. In some Australian cities, there are so many kangaroos that they hop around the streets like regular pedestrians. They're especially common in Canberra, where kangaroos even cause traffic jams. Locals are used to this sight, but it's always a surprise for tourists. In these cities, there are even special signs warning drivers about tail-walking pedestrians. Did you know that in Dubai there is a heavy gold ATM? In Dubai, you can find ATMs that dispense gold bars instead of regular money. These gold ATMs allow customers to purchase small bars of pure gold in various weights, from 1 gram to 2.5 kilograms. The gold is dispensed in beautiful gift packaging, and you can track the current price in real time. Dubai is famous for its luxurious landmarks, but being able to withdraw gold directly from an ATM is a true symbol of the city's extravagance. Is it possible? There is a lake in Tanzania where no one swims? Lake Natron, located near the border with Kenya, is known for its extremely high salinity and alkalinity, which turns any animal that ends up in its waters into a mummy. Birds and fish caught in the lake literally turn to stone due to chemical reactions. Although it looks eerie, the lake's stunning red color draws tourists and photographers. Despite its beauty, locals and travelers never dare to venture into its dangerous waters. Who would have thought that the world's most pierced man has over 500 piercings? British IT specialist Rolf Boltz holds the title of the most pierced man in the world, with a staggering 516 piercings. His body is adorned with horn implants, stretched earlobes, and tattoos. Known as the man with horns, Rolf enjoys the attention his unique appearance brings. Despite his unusual looks, Rolf says that his piercings are a form of self-expression, and he loves the reaction they provoke. Can you believe that a tick can dine for up to 10 days? Ticks are true masters of long feasts. These tiny parasites can stay latched onto their host for up to 10 days, feeding without interruption. Imagine a dinner that lasts not just a few hours, but almost an entire week. The tick literally buries itself into the feast, slowly but surely enjoying its meal. While the host may not even realize that someone is indulging in their blood, the tick is having the time of its life. These little gourmets are so adapted to slow eating that they can store nutrients and feed on them for a long time. Though it sounds unpleasant to us, for ticks, it's a gourmet experience. If there were a competition for slow eating, ticks would surely be the champions. Believe it or not, cuttlefish change not only color, but also skin texture. The cuttlefish, a cousin of the octopus and squid, is a living billboard of biological illusion. With astonishing speed, it can shift its skin through millions of color combinations using 3 types of pigment cells: chromatophores, iridophores, and leucophores, layered in dynamic harmony. But it goes further. Muscular papillae under the skin allow it to raise bumps, spikes, or wrinkles, mimicking the texture of coral, sand, or seaweed. This allows the cuttlefish to not only blend visually into its surroundings, but also physically disappear into the landscape. What's more, cuttlefish make these transformations based on sight and memory. They study the environment and decide the best disguise, revealing learning and problem-solving abilities. This shape-shifting skill is both defense and offense, allowing them to hide from predators or sneak up on prey without ever being noticed. Did you know Vin Diesel loves Dungeons and Dragons? It's hard to picture the tough guy from action movies like Fast and Furious sitting around a table rolling dice. But that's exactly what he does. Vin Diesel isn't just a Hollywood superstar, he's a passionate gamer who has embraced the world of D&D for more than 2 decades. His love for the game started in his childhood and has flourished since then. In interviews, Diesel has shared stories about how playing Dungeons and Dragons helped shape his imagination and creativity. He's not just a casual player either. He dives deep into the role-playing experience, crafting characters and stories that thrill him and his friends. His enthusiasm for gaming even influenced his work, inspiring some of the roles he's taken on. So next time you see him in a high-octane action scene, remember, behind the muscle and grit, there's a devoted gamer who knows the magic of a good story and the adventure of teamwork, just like in a classic D&D campaign. Did you know that the world's longest hair measures over 18 feet? A Chinese woman named Shi Kuping holds the Guinness World Record for the longest hair, which measures a staggering 5.62 meters. That's about 18 feet and 5 inches. She began growing her hair at the age of 13 in 1973 and hasn't cut it since. Taking care of such long hair is no easy task. She spends hours every week washing it and at least 2 hours just combing it. Sometimes she braids her hair or wraps it around herself to make moving easier. This record has remained unbeatable for decades. It's hard to believe, but sea stars can evert their stomachs. Sea stars have a bizarre and fascinating way of eating. They can push their stomachs outside their bodies to digest their prey. When a sea star encounters something too big to fit in its mouth, like a clam or mussel, it wraps its stomach around the prey, releasing digestive enzymes to break down the food. Once the meal is digested, the sea star pulls its stomach back inside, along with the nutrients. This unique method makes them some of the most unconventional predators in the ocean. Talk about dining al fresco. Did you know that American strength lies not only in its economy, but also in its geography? Imagine the United States as a country whose geography is perfectly suited for global dominance. Unlike many nations that must fight for every square inch of land, Americans can control 2 oceans due to their unique position. This makes the U.S. invulnerable to invasions and allows dominance in global trade. How have they leveraged this advantage? The U.S. has used its geography to establish strategically important maritime routes and exploit them to its benefit. For instance, by utilizing the seaway across 2 oceans, they control a significant portion of world trade. Could sloths really swim like fish? While sloths are known for their slow, tree-bound lives, their aquatic skills might surprise you. Despite their sluggish movement on land, sloths become graceful and capable swimmers in water. Using long arms and powerful forelimbs, they perform an effortless breaststroke, reaching speeds of up to 3 meters per minute. Their buoyant bodies, helped by slow metabolism and a layer of fat, allow them to float and move across rivers and flooded rainforest floors with minimal effort. They can even hold their breath underwater for 40 seconds, diving to avoid predators or cross swamps. Young sloths learn to swim just weeks after birth, showing how vital this skill is to survival. For these treetop residents, swimming isn't just an escape route, it's an essential part of navigating the lush, water-laced jungles of Central and South America. Did you know that holding in a sneeze can be more dangerous than it seems? Have you ever tried to hold in a sneeze so as not to draw attention or disturb those around you? But did you know that this habit can lead to serious consequences? When you suppress a sneeze, the pressure in your blood vessels increases sharply, which can cause a blood vessel in the brain to rupture. In extremely rare cases, this can even lead to a stroke. Yes, such an innocent reflex as sneezing, if suppressed, can turn into a health catastrophe. So don't hold it back. Better to let that sneeze out. Who would have thought a group of badgers is called a seat? In the world of wildlife terminology, a group of badgers is known as a seat. This unusual term adds a bit of quirkiness to the vocabulary of nature. Badgers are known for their burrowing abilities and they form close-knit social groups. This unique collective noun perfectly captures their digging prowess and teamwork. So next time you see a group of badgers, you'll know you're witnessing a seat in action, a true badge of nature's oddities. Believe it or not, the world's smallest volcano is just 13 meters high. The smallest volcano in the world is called Cuexcomate, located in Puebla, Mexico. This tiny volcano stands only 13 meters tall and has a width of 8 meters, making it quite miniature compared to others. It was formed in 1064 due to an eruption from the nearby Popocatépetl volcano. While Cuexcomate is classified as dormant, it sometimes releases steam and sulfur gases, reminding visitors of its volcanic nature. Fun fact, you can actually climb this volcano, making it a perfect adventure for those looking to scale a pint-sized peak. Believe it or not, the US has 6 time zones. With regions stretching across vast distances, America experiences time differently depending on where you are. The 6 official time zones are Eastern, Central, Mountain, Pacific, Alaska, and Hawaii Aleutian. For instance, when the clock strikes 9 a.m. in New York City, folks in Honolulu, Hawaii, are just waking up at 4 a.m. This staggering difference can lead to some interesting scenarios. Imagine planning a phone call to a friend across the country and realizing they're still asleep. Understanding these time zones is crucial for everything from business meetings to catching your favorite TV shows live. The time system not only reflects the geography, but also the culture and lifestyle of each region. People in bustling New York may be busy sipping coffee and heading to work, while in Hawaii, the sun is just starting to rise, inviting locals to enjoy the beautiful morning waves. So whether you are celebrating New Year's or planning a cross-country trip, keep in mind the time differences that create the incredible tapestry of American life. Can you believe olives come from the same tree? It's true, green and black olives, the stars of your favorite tapenade or pizza, actually grow on the same type of olive tree, known scientifically as Olea europaea. The difference between them doesn't come from the tree itself, but rather the time they are harvested. Green olives are plucked from the tree while they're still young and firm, just before they fully mature. This gives them their crisp texture and tangy flavor, perfect for those who enjoy a zesty bite. On the other hand, black olives are left to ripen on the tree until they turn a deep, rich color. This longer maturation process transforms their flavor profile, resulting in a softer, more mellow taste that many find delicious. Both types are full of healthy fats, antioxidants, and even anti-inflammatory properties. So whether you prefer the sharp punch of green olives or the smoothness of black olives, remember that they share a common origin, making every olive a little piece of culinary unison. Is it true that most dust is dead skin? Imagine that every day you shed millions of skin cells that turn into dust in your home. Dead skin cells make up a significant portion of household dust, along with clothing fibers, hair, and pollen. On average, a person loses about 200 million skin cells every hour. Of course, this doesn't sound very pleasant, but nature has designed your skin to constantly renew itself. In fact, one of the oils on your skin, squalene, helps reduce the harmful effects of ozone in the air, making your skin's microbiome a true protector of your environment. So the next time you're wiping down dust, remember, you're essentially cleaning away your yesterday cells that have already served their purpose. Amazing how the body continually renews itself and maintains balance with the environment. Did you know the world's longest beard measured over 5 meters? The world's longest beard belonged to Hans Langseth, a Norwegian who passed away in 1927. His beard measured an incredible 5.33 meters, or over 17 feet. His legendary beard was so impressive that it was showcased at fairs and exhibitions. After Hans's death, his beard was donated to the Smithsonian Institution, where it remains on display. This epic beard has become a symbol of beard greatness and is admired by many. Why has the U.S. become a leader on the global stage? After the Civil War ended in 1865, the country entered an era of industrial growth and expanding influence. By around 1900, following the annexation of Mexican territory and other successful wars, the U.S. began to dominate the Western Hemisphere. Roosevelt's corollary, which asserted the U.S. right to intervene in Latin American affairs, solidified this status. After World War II, the U.S. emerged as a world leader, allowing it to leverage military power and economic resources to influence international events. Since the 20th century, the U.S. has employed both force and diplomacy to establish its global leadership. The most destructive computer virus in history. Computer viruses can cause enormous damage in a short time, but the MyDoom virus broke all records. Created in 2004, it became the fastest spreading virus in history, causing about $38 billion in damage. It raced across the world at lightning speed, leaving financial chaos in its wake. A brutal reminder of the hidden dangers lurking in our connected technologies. Is it possible? Paper can be stronger than steel. Special technologies can create what is known as paper armor, which when treated properly becomes stronger than steel. For example, Japanese washi paper, used in some bulletproof vests, can withstand impacts that ordinary paper couldn't handle. This paper is treated with resins and layered, making it incredibly durable. Amazingly, paper can be used for protection, just like metal, thanks to these technologies. Can you imagine that the world's largest Ferris wheel can hold over 1,000 passengers? In Las Vegas, USA, stands the giant Ferris wheel known as High Roller. This massive wheel has a diameter of 167 meters and can hold up to 1,120 passengers in 28 spacious cabins. The ride takes about 30 minutes, giving riders breathtaking views of the city. The High Roller is not just an amusement ride, but a symbol of the grandeur of Las Vegas. Why does the King of Hearts in a deck of cards have no mustache? If you've ever taken a close look at a standard deck of cards, you may have noticed that the King of Hearts is the only king without a mustache. This small detail, often overlooked, makes him unique among the other kings. Depicted as clean-shaven, this little quirk adds a bit of mystery to the standard deck of cards that we all know and play with. Why can toads live far from water? Ever wondered what makes toads different from frogs? One of the key differences is their habitat. Frogs need to stay near water because their skin requires moisture to breathe. Toads, however, have thicker skin that allows them to retain moisture and live away from water. So if you spot an amphibian in your backyard, it's more likely to be a toad than a frog. These adaptations help toads survive in drier places, making them true masters of land survival. Did you know that astronauts can't burp in space? In the absence of gravity, our bodily functions behave very differently than on Earth. One of the strange effects is that astronauts cannot burp in space. On Earth, gravity helps separate gas from food in the stomach, allowing us to release air. But in space without gravity, gases remain mixed with liquids, making burping impossible. In fact, if astronauts tried to drink carbonated beverages, it could lead to rather unpleasant results. It's a small reminder of how much gravity influences our everyday functions and how amazing our bodies are in space conditions. The accident that changed the world, the invention of the pop cycle. Have you ever wondered how the popsicle was invented? It was pure accident. In 1905, an 11-year-old boy named Frank Epperson left a mixture of soda water and outside overnight. The next morning, the mixture had frozen, and thus the first popsicle on a stick was accidentally invented. Years later, when Frank grew up, he began selling his frozen treat, which quickly became a hit. His children suggested naming it a popsicle, and the name stuck. That's how a simple mistake became a beloved dessert for millions around the world. Who would have thought that you can see sounds through light? Sounds can not only be heard, but also seen. Using special equipment like oscilloscopes, scientists can visualize sound waves, turning them into light pulses. These pulses take on different shapes depending on the frequency and intensity of the sound. The sight is incredible. High frequencies appear as fast, thin lines, while low ones as slow, broad patterns. Technology allows us to see music and sounds, adding a new dimension to how we perceive them. Uncover the mystery of secret staircases in Italy. Did you know that secret staircases were built into Italian houses? In the enchanting cities of Venice and Florence, wealthy aristocrats constructed homes featuring these hidden passages as a means of escape in times of danger. These staircases, cleverly concealed within the walls, often led to secret rooms or safe exits, providing an intriguing glimpse into how people protected themselves during turbulent times. Today, many of these unique architectural treasures still exist, captivating explorers and tourists alike. Imagine wandering through the narrow, winding streets and suddenly discovering the entrance to a hidden staircase. Visitors find themselves drawn to the allure of these mysterious structures, which seem to whisper stories of the past. Each staircase offers a glimpse into a world where safety and secrecy were paramount. As you explore Italy, keep your eyes peeled for these hidden gems, and who knows, perhaps you'll stumble upon a secret staircase of your own. Why did Britain become a global empire? The influence of Great Britain on the world stage resulted from various factors, starting with the Industrial Revolution and extending to its military conquests. In the 19th century, Britain, with its navy and industrial innovations, established the largest empire in history, encompassing over 20% of the world's land. Consequently, British culture, language, and economy impacted many countries. Did you know the world's oldest message in a bottle was found after more than a century? In 2018, a bottle washed ashore on a beach in Western Australia containing a message tossed into the Indian Ocean by a German ship in 1886. This message had traveled through the seas for an incredible 132 years before being discovered. Talk about slow and steady mail service. It's a fascinating glimpse into the past, connecting us with a different era. Imagine a flight that lasts only 53 seconds. The shortest commercial flight in the world connects two Scottish islands, Westray and Papa Westray. This flight covers just 1.5 miles and lasts less than a minute, only 53 seconds. By the time you buckle your seatbelt, the plane is already preparing to land. It's probably the quickest and shortest way to travel that you can imagine. If you ever find yourself on this flight, you won't even notice its start and finish. Why is the sky blue? The answer lies in science. Have you ever wondered why the sky appears so bright blue? This phenomenon is explained by the scattering of sunlight in the atmosphere. As sunlight passes through the Earth's atmosphere, it collides with gas molecules and scatters in all directions. Blue light has shorter wavelengths, so it scatters more than other colors. This is what makes the sky appear blue to us. It's one of those natural wonders that surround us every day, but are often taken for granted. Did you know the shape of Pringles chips is a mathematical masterpiece? When you enjoy crispy Pringles chips, you probably don't think about how their shape wasn't created by chance. This shape is called a hyperbolic paraboloid, and it allows the chips to resist breaking as easily as regular potato slices. Moreover, this geometric design is perfect for stacking chips neatly in their iconic cylindrical can. So, these chips are not only delicious, but also a true work of mathematical art. Can you believe the world's fastest roller coaster hits 240 kilometers per hour? The Formula Rossa in Abu Dhabi, UAE, holds the title of the world's fastest roller coaster. It accelerates to an astonishing 240 kilometers per hour, about 150 miles per hour, in just 4.9 seconds. With a track length of 2.2 kilometers and a height of 52 meters, this ride is a thrill-seeker's dream. The coaster is modeled after a Ferrari race car, and riders are required to wear protective goggles to shield their eyes from the high-speed wind. Buckle up and prepare for the ride of a lifetime. Guess what the real reason is behind the naked mole rat's superpowers? Naked mole rats are more than quirky, wrinkled rodents. They're evolutionary superheroes. Living underground in eusocial colonies, they defy mammalian norms with insect-like organization. A queen does all the breeding while others work or defend the nest. But their real superpowers lie in biology. They're immune to many forms of pain, resistant to cancer, and can survive up to 18 minutes without oxygen. Their bodies produce unique proteins that suppress tumors and prevent cells from crowding, a natural barrier against cancer. They live 10 times longer than other rodents their size, showing little age-related decline. Scientists are studying them to understand aging, cancer resistance, and low oxygen survival, unlocking secrets that could transform human health. In the darkness of their tunnels, these odd creatures quietly guard the keys to longevity. Did you know that the first frozen dinner was created in 1953? Imagine this. The frozen dinners we're so used to were once a culinary breakthrough. In 1953, Swanson introduced a frozen meal styled after a Thanksgiving dinner. This meal was in response to the need for quick meal preparation, and since then, frozen foods have become a staple of our diets. Today, the variety of frozen meals is staggering, from pizzas to exotic delicacies. Just think how a simple solution for leftover food turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry that has transformed our eating habits. Just imagine for a second a sloth carrying a living garden. Sloths are so slow that algae, fungi, and even tiny insects take up residence in their fur, turning them into mobile rainforests. The algae not only provide camouflage, but may also offer nutrients absorbed through the skin. In return, the sloth's fur offers a moist, stable microclimate. Certain species of moths live only in sloth fur, laying their eggs in the sloth's dung. It's an ecosystem in miniature, a green cloak that hides the sloth from predators and supports a network of life. Biologists have found novel antibiotic-producing fungi in this furry habitat, organisms unknown anywhere else on Earth. So when you see a sloth, don't just think lazy, think life-giving. This slow, deliberate creature wears an entire biosphere on its back, blending biology and ecology in one of nature's most unexpected symbioses. Why is Maine known as the Lone Ranger State? Maine is the only U.S. state that shares a border with just one other state, New Hampshire. This unique geographical feature makes Maine something of a loner among the states. If you're someone who enjoys solitude and quiet, Maine might be the perfect place for you. Known for its stunning natural landscapes, rocky coastlines, and quiet forests, Maine stands out for its geographic isolation and proud, independent spirit. This one fact flips the whole story about chameleon color change. Most people think chameleons change color just for camouflage, but that's only part of the story. These lizards use color to communicate mood, temperature, and social signals. When cold, they darken to absorb heat. When hot, they pale to reflect sunlight. A male flashes bright colors to impress a mate or challenge a rival. This isn't pigment shuffling, it's nanotechnology. Tiny crystals in their skin reflect specific wavelengths of light depending on their spacing. Nerve signals alter these distances in milliseconds, giving chameleons full control of their personal color display. It's camouflage, yes, but also language, emotion, and thermoregulation rolled into one. Every color shift tells a story, making these creatures living, flashing billboards of reptilian expression. Why are honey mushrooms considered the largest living organisms on the planet? In the forests of Oregon, there is one of the largest organisms on Earth, the honey fungus Armillaria ostoya. This fungus covers an area of over 9 square kilometers and has been growing for thousands of years. Underground, it forms giant mycelial networks that connect trees and other plants. Above ground, it may look like just a few mushrooms, but beneath the surface lies an enormous network rivaling the size of large cities. Why does Japan have an island inhabited only by rabbits? On Okinoshima, known as Rabbit Island, hundreds of fluffy bunnies roam freely, feeling like the rightful rulers of the place. Originally, rabbits were brought here for scientific experiments during World War II. After the war ended, they were released and their population grew rapidly. Now tourists from all over the world come to play and feed these friendly animals. Cats and dogs are prohibited on the island to protect the rabbit population, turning it into a true paradise for animal lovers. Did you know that bats can see with sound? While many creatures rely on vision, Bats have mastered a different sense, echolocation, to thrive in complete darkness. They emit high-frequency sound waves, usually beyond human hearing, which bounce off nearby objects. By measuring the time delay and frequency shift of the returning echoes, bats construct a mental map of their surroundings with extraordinary precision. Some species process more than 100 echoes per second, adjusting their wing beats and flight path in real time to track even the tiniest insect midair. Their brains are wired to convert sound into spatial imagery, essentially allowing them to see with their ears. This remarkable adaptation has evolved independently in different bat families, showcasing nature's ingenuity. Throughout history, bats have been wrapped in myth, seen as omens or vampires. But in reality, they are marvels of bioacoustics and a source of inspiration for modern sonar and radar technologies. Why is there a forest in Australia that glows at night? On Kangaroo Island, you can witness an incredible phenomenon: bioluminescent mushrooms that make the forest look like a fairy tale. The mushrooms emit a gentle glow thanks to bioluminescence, creating an atmosphere as if the forest is filled with stars. It attracts many tourists, especially those brave enough to spend the night among glowing mushrooms in a mystic setting. Why do you think children in Britain start school at age 4? In the UK, children begin their education at 4 or 5 years old and complete the entire school curriculum by 16-18, which totals 13 years of schooling. This is longer than in many other countries, where school education lasts for a shorter duration. However, in university, British students study for only 3 years, unlike in many other countries where it's typically 4. In state schools, students are required to wear strict dark blue uniforms, highlighting the importance of discipline and tradition in the British educational system. Let's break a common myth today. Crocodile tears aren't about emotion. The popular phrase, crocodile tears, implies fake sadness, but it originates from a real biological process. When crocodiles feed, powerful jaw muscles press on glands that trigger tear secretion, not from sorrow, but as a way to clean their eyes. These reptiles often dine on sandy shores, and the tears help flush out irritants and maintain clear vision. The phenomenon was first recorded in the 14th century and misunderstood as emotional weeping, which later gave rise to the metaphor. In truth, crocodiles are cold-blooded predators, driven by instinct rather than empathy. However, their tear mechanism serves a crucial function. Without it, they'd risk infections or impaired hunting ability. Interestingly, researchers are studying similar lacrimal responses in other species to better understand how tears evolved not just for emotion, but as tools of hygiene and protection. Hard to believe, but New York has hidden subway gems. Beneath the bustling streets of New York City lies a fascinating secret: the City Hall subway station. Opened in 1904, this architectural beauty was once a busy stop on the IRT Lexington Avenue line, famous for its stunning arches and ornate tiles. However, after nearly 70 years of service, it was closed in 1945 due to the length of its platform, which couldn't accommodate the newer, longer trains. Despite its closure, City Hall Station has not been completely forgotten. On its 100-year anniversary in 2004, it briefly opened its doors for public tours, allowing lucky visitors to step back in time and appreciate its vintage charm. The station is a treasure trove of history, showcasing the city's rich transportation legacy. Today, it stands as a reminder of the subway system's evolution and the stories that lie just out of sight. So next time you ride the subway, you might want to remember that beneath your feet, there's a whole world of untold history waiting to be rediscovered. Did you know that olive oil can help fight cancer? Extra virgin olive oil contains an incredible compound called oleocanthal, which has the remarkable ability to destroy cancer cells without harming healthy ones. This natural wonder shows how food can act as medicine, offering a gentle yet powerful defense against cancer. Oleocanthal targets cancer cells at a molecular level, making olive oil a potential ally in the fight against various cancers. So next time you enjoy olive oil, remember that it's not just a tasty ingredient, but also a natural healer. Hard to believe, but owls fly like ghosts, silently. Owls are perhaps the stealthiest hunters in the bird world, and it's all thanks to their feather anatomy. Unlike other birds, owl feathers have a soft, velvety texture with serrated leading edges that break up airflow, significantly reducing sound. This unique design allows them to fly almost silently, enabling them to sneak up on prey undetected. Studies using high-speed microphones and wind tunnels have confirmed that an owl in flight makes less than 1/10 the noise of other birds of similar size. This ghost-like silence has made owls legendary figures in folklore, often seen as messengers or omens from the spirit world. Biomechanically, it's one of evolution's most refined tools of predation, combining physical adaptation with a biological purpose. Engineers even study owl wings to design quieter fans and drones. In nature and technology alike, silence can be a deadly advantage. It's hard to believe, but the war between Britain and Zanzibar lasted just 38 minutes. In August 1896, Britain and its colony Zanzibar engaged in the shortest armed conflict in history, lasting only 38 minutes. Although this war was brief, it remains a significant episode in British history, vividly demonstrating the power of the empire at that time. Did you know that monarch butterflies undertake one of the longest migrations on Earth? These amazing insects travel thousands of kilometers each year, migrating from Mexico to the United States and Canada. What's even more incredible is that this journey takes place over several generations. Monarch butterflies begin their migration, lay eggs, and the next generation continues the journey. This incredible relay across generations transforms their migration into a dance that transcends borders, a true wonder of nature. Did you know that the Kuwaiti dinar is the most valuable currency in the world? The Kuwaiti dinar, KWD, holds the title as the highest valued currency in the world. Despite Kuwait not having the largest economy, its currency's unique exchange rate gives it incredible worth. One Kuwaiti dinar is equivalent to about $3.30, making it one of the most valuable currencies globally. This means that even a small amount of Kuwaiti dinars can be worth a lot when exchanged for other currencies. This might sound crazy, but butterflies migrate across generations. Monarch butterflies undertake one of the most epic and mysterious migrations in nature, traveling up to 4,000 kilometers from North America to central Mexico. But here's the twist. No single butterfly completes the round trip. It takes 3 to 4 generations, with each offspring continuing the journey their ancestors started. The final generation, known as the Methuselah generation, lives up to 8 months, unlike the usual few weeks, to make the long return flight northward. Scientists are still unraveling how these butterflies navigate using the sun, Earth's magnetic field, and genetic memory. Ancient Mesoamerican cultures saw monarchs as the returning souls of ancestors, especially around the Day of the Dead. With climate change threatening their habitats, monarchs are not just beautiful, they're vital indicators of ecological health and resilience. Their migration is a relay of life, memory, and survival. What's the story behind Kurt and Goldie's love? Since 1983, the iconic duo of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn has been lighting up our screens and our hearts. Yet they've chosen not to seal the deal with a marriage certificate. This fascinating choice challenges the traditional idea that a relationship needs a legal label to thrive. They met on the set of the movie The One and Only Genuine Original Family Band, and their chemistry was undeniable. Over the decades, they've starred together in films like Swing Shift and Overboard, showcasing their powerful partnership both on and off screen. As parents to their son Wyatt Russell and Goldie's daughter Kate Hudson, they demonstrate that love can flourish in many forms. Kurt and Goldie live by the belief that commitment doesn't require a formal ceremony to be genuine. Their long-lasting relationship, filled with laughter, support, and shared experiences, shows us that the heart can maintain its warmth regardless of societal expectations. Their story is a beautiful reminder that love and family are what truly matter. Who would have thought that clouds can weigh millions of tons? Despite their light and airy appearance, clouds actually have massive weight. 1 cubic meter of cloud contains about half a gram of water. Considering that a typical cumulus cloud can have a volume of over 1 billion cubic meters, its mass can reach 500,000 tons. That's about the same as 400,000 cars. Imagine tons of water floating above you. How would you react if you learned that it was Tim Berners-Lee who invented the World Wide Web? What if you found out that Tim Berners-Lee, a British scientist, was the one who created it? This is not just a change in technology, it's a revolution that radically transformed how we communicate and access information. In 1989, while working at CERN, Berners-Lee proposed a hypertext system that would link information through documents. This became the foundation for the World Wide Web, and since then, the internet has evolved, providing access to millions of websites and changing society. In the UK, there are many other scientists, such as Charles Darwin, Stephen Hawking, and Isaac Newton, whose discoveries and research laid the groundwork for modern sciences and technologies. What if everything you knew about Greenland was marketing? When Eric the Red was exiled from Iceland in the late 10th century for committing murder, he sailed west and discovered a vast icy island. Knowing settlers wouldn't be excited by endless snow, he named it Granland, Greenland, to make it sound lush and appealing. This wasn't a mistake, but a calculated piece of Viking-era real estate branding. The southern tip of Greenland, where he landed, does have green valleys in summer, but over 80% of the island is covered by a massive ice sheet. Still, the name sparked curiosity and drew colonists across the sea. It worked so well that Norse settlements thrived there for centuries. The name outlived the colonies, embedding itself in maps and minds worldwide. In truth, Greenland's name is more fantasy than fact, proof that words can reshape perception just as powerfully as swords or sails. Did you know the African elephant is the largest land animal on Earth? African elephants are true giants. These majestic creatures can weigh up to 14,000 pounds, about 6,350 kilograms. That's like a small car on four legs. These gentle giants are a symbol of nature's greatness, and their size is awe-inspiring. Why do leaves turn red and yellow in the fall? When autumn comes, trees turn off photosynthesis. During this process, the green pigment, chlorophyll, breaks down, and other pigments, carotenoids and anthocyanins, reveal themselves in yellow and red hues. It's like nature putting on a colorful show. Interestingly, the cooler and sunnier the autumn, the brighter these colors will be. Have you ever realized that this is nature's magical performance happening right before your eyes? Could this really be true? All gold ever mined fits in 3 pools. Despite its glittering presence in culture and commerce, gold is astonishingly rare. Every ounce ever extracted by humans totals around 187,000 metric tons, enough to fill just 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Most of it sits in vaults, central banks, jewelry, and high-tech electronics. The metal's appeal lies in its unique properties. It doesn't corrode, it's easy to shape, and it's stunning to look at. Ancient civilizations from Egypt to the Inca worshipped it. Modern economies still hoard it. And yet, for all its symbolic weight, gold is surprisingly compact in physical volume. It's a reminder that rarity, not abundance, drives value, and that the treasures we fight over can sometimes fit in a room. What if I told you the Mona Lisa was hidden in a salt mine? During World War II, as Nazi forces looted Europe's art, Allied experts raced to save priceless works. Among them was the Mona Lisa. In 1945, deep inside the Austrian Alps, the monuments men found her, safe in the Alto Se salt mine, alongside thousands of stolen masterpieces. The salt mine's stable climate preserved the canvas, pigment, and frame better than any museum could. Hidden from bombs, thieves, and time itself, the world's most famous smile survived underground. That daring rescue didn't just save art, it saved cultural identity. The Mona Lisa returned not just as a painting, but as a symbol of resilience, history, and humanity's fight to protect beauty in the face of destruction. Should you really answer that unknown call? In the digital age, your phone is both a lifeline and a landmine. Surveys reveal that over 67% of people ignore calls from unknown numbers, and they're right to be cautious. Modern scammers now use spoofed caller ID to impersonate banks, government agencies, or even family members. These calls often carry social engineering traps, false alarms, emotional manipulation, or too good to be true offers. Fraudsters use robocalls to probe your habits and harvest data. Experts advise using call blocking apps, reporting suspicious numbers, and letting unfamiliar calls go to voicemail. Some devices even use AI to screen and transcribe unknown callers in real time. So next time your phone rings from unknown, it might be safer to wait, because the scariest part of a scam is how convincing it sounds. Did you know that the Phi Islands survived a devastating tsunami, but retained their beauty? Despite the horrific destruction caused by the tsunami in 2004, the Phi Islands in Thailand have maintained their unique and surreal charm. These islands became world famous after the filming of The Beach starring Leonardo DiCaprio, where the stunning cliffs and tropical beaches attract thousands of tourists each year. Even now, despite all the challenges, Phi remains a symbol of natural beauty and is an ideal destination for relaxation, diving, and excursions. Wow! Did you know the first ATM came before the internet? The modern ATM might feel like a product of the digital age, but it was born in 1967, long before smartphones or Wi-Fi. On June 27th of that year, Barclays Bank unveiled the world's first cash machine in London. Its inventor, John Shepherd Barron, was inspired by chocolate vending machines and designed a system that dispensed money using special paper vouchers and chemical pins. Early users inserted these slips to get up to $10, roughly $180 today. Though primitive, the machine revolutionized banking by giving people access to their money 24/7. It paved the way for today's seamless digital payments, card security, and mobile banking. The ATM wasn't just a convenience, it was a leap toward financial independence, automation, and trust in machines. Did you know the first mobile call changed everything? On April 3, 1973, history was made in New York City when Martin Cooper, an engineer at Motorola, made the very first handheld mobile phone call. Imagine a moment where a bulky, suitcase-like contraption evolved into the sleek smartphones we carry today. Cooper called his rival at Bell Labs, and as he spoke into the very first mobile phone, weighing over 2 pounds, it marked a pivotal shift in how we connect with one another. At that time, people relied heavily on landlines and payphones, so the idea of making a call on the go was revolutionary. This innovative technology came with its challenges, limited battery life and oversized devices, but it sparked an explosion of advancements in communication. Fast forward to today, and we can't imagine life without our smartphones, filled with apps, internet access, and instant messaging. That simple call didn't just change one person's day, it set the stage for an entire industry and forever altered the way we interact with the world around us. Who would have guessed that call would lead us to wireless everything? Believe it or not, the FBI had a Bigfoot file. In the 1970s, the FBI opened a real investigation into Bigfoot. Yes, the mythical ape-like creature of North American folklore. They received over 20,000 letters from citizens submitting hair samples, footprints, and blurry photos. One sample, sent by a cryptozoologist from the Pacific Northwest, prompted the FBI to conduct actual lab tests. Though the hair turned out to belong to a deer, the case was filed officially under cryptid reports and stored alongside UFO dossiers. The documents, declassified decades later, show how the agency took public concern seriously, even when it leaned toward the extraordinary. While Bigfoot remains elusive, his case file lives on as a quirky chapter in American science and skepticism. Sometimes, even the most rational institutions indulge in a little monster hunting. The broken chains at the feet of the Statue of Liberty. At the feet of the Statue of Liberty are broken chains, symbolizing freedom from oppression and injustice. These chains, often hidden from view, send a powerful message: the continuous march towards emancipation and liberty. They serve as a reminder that the struggle for freedom never truly ends, and every step taken is part of the larger journey towards justice. The Statue of Liberty's broken chains represent hope and liberation for all. Surprisingly but true, the Wave in Arizona attracts tourists from around the world with its unique natural formation. Located on the border with Utah, the Wave is a remarkable sandstone feature that has become a symbol of natural beauty and stunning landscapes. This site is known for its wave-like rock structures, painted in vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow. Travelers from across the globe visit to see this place, and many photographers consider it one of the most beautiful and photographed spots on Earth. Did you know pirates believed earrings could improve eyesight? This quirky belief came from a time when sailors, often spending long days at sea, were keen on finding any way to enhance their vision. Pirates, in particular, thought that precious metals like gold and silver held special powers. They wore earrings not just as a fashion statement, but because they believed these adornments could ward off ailments or improve their eyesight. Imagine a fearsome pirate with an eye patch over one eye and a glimmering earring in the other, confidently navigating through treacherous waters. While there's no scientific backing for this claim, after all, a shiny earring won't improve your vision, it became a staple part of their style. This superstition was so influential that it shaped how we picture pirates today, often portrayed with tough looks and extravagant earrings. So next time you see a pirate in a movie, remember there's more than just adventure in those jewels. There's a bit of history and mythology intertwined with fashion. Isn't it fascinating that our brain stays alert when we sleep in a new place? Have you ever noticed that you sleep less soundly the first night in a new place, like a hotel or a friend's house? This is due to a phenomenon known as the first night effect. It turns out that part of our brain remains on guard when we sleep in an unfamiliar environment, helping to protect us from potential threats. Studies show that the left hemisphere of the brain remains more active than the right, allowing us to react more quickly to external stimuli. This ancient survival mechanism helps our bodies adapt to new surroundings. But don't worry, over time, the brain adjusts to the new place, and the first night effect fades, allowing you to sleep more peacefully. Imagine for a moment that Positano in Italy was once just a fishing village. Today, Positano is one of the most popular tourist destinations on the Amalfi Coast. But this picturesque town was once a small fishing hamlet. Everything changed after John Steinbeck wrote about it in 1953, which made it famous. Since then, Positano has drawn tourists with its steep streets, charming houses with colorful facades, and stunning views of the Mediterranean Sea. Did you know the Nile is the longest river in the world? The Nile River, which stretches approximately 6,650 kilometers, passes through 11 countries in northeastern Africa. These countries, Burundi, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda, depend on the Nile for their economies, cultures, and ecosystems. The Nile is not only a lifeline for millions of people, but also a witness to ancient history spanning millennia. Did you know that Alfred Hitchcock was terrified of eggs? Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense, terrified millions with his cinematic genius. But he had a peculiar fear himself. He was scared of eggs. Hitchcock admitted that just seeing a cracked egg filled him with dread. For a man who created films that left audiences on the edge of their seats, this phobia seems completely paradoxical. How could someone who made us fear shower curtains and shadows be afraid of something as ordinary as an egg? It's one of the more surprising secrets of the great master of horror. Interestingly, Preikestolen in Norway is one of the most dangerous cliffs that should only be visited during the warm months. Preikestolen, also known as the Pulpit Rock, is a massive 600-meter cliff that attracts tourists with its stunning views of the Lysefjord below. However, it's important to note that the cliff is not recommended for visits in winter and spring due to hazardous icy conditions. In contrast, during the summer, its summit offers breathtaking vistas that are truly awe-inspiring. Have you ever wondered what the Meteora in Greece hides in its history of fighting against invaders? Meteora consists of unique monasteries perched on high cliffs in Greece. They were built in the Middle Ages by monks who used this inaccessible and protected area as a refuge from Turkish invaders. To reach the monasteries, the monks had to create ladders and special ropes, and until 100 years ago, the only access was via rope ladders. Today, travelers can ascend via a cable car or treacherous stairs, yet they still feel the grandeur and historical power of this place. The story of ink saving. How a period saved a newspaper thousands of dollars. How important do you think a tiny change in logo design could be? In 1967, the New York Times decided to remove the period at the end of its name. This decision wasn't driven by aesthetics, but by savings. The newspaper calculated that dropping the period could save them a significant amount of ink, around $600 a year, which today equals approximately $6,000. While such an amount may seem insignificant at first for publishers, it became an example of how even the smallest changes can lead to substantial resource savings. Imagine how one small decision could impact the budget of an entire company. It's hard to believe, but the Great Wall of China is not a single structure, but a collection of separate walls. The Great Wall stretches for thousands of kilometers and consists of a series of various fortifications built to protect China from northern invasions. Contrary to popular myth, it is not one continuous structure, but rather a chain of different walls that connect it at various points. This monumental structure holds historical significance and symbolizes the strength and protection of Chinese civilization. Can you imagine that the Tianzi Mountains in China inspired fantasy films? Located in Hunan province, the Tianzi Mountains are famous for their unique peaks that seem to have grown out of the earth, creating an atmosphere reminiscent of scenes from science fiction movies. These mountains served as inspiration for the creators of the film Avatar and are considered one of China's most incredible natural wonders. For tourists, cable cars have been built that provide breathtaking views of these peculiar rock formations. It's interesting that Tokyo has no street addresses. In Tokyo, addresses are assigned not to streets but to buildings, which is very unusual for a large city. Buildings are numbered in order of construction, not by their location on a street. This means finding the right address for the first time can be challenging if you're not familiar with the area. Instead of streets, residents and visitors orient themselves by metro stations and districts, giving Tokyo a unique charm and character.